Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Jai Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Jai Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. Welcome to the Channel for Grace. Jai Gobind will be live shortly. Book a tarot or astrology reading on our website, channelforgrace.guru, and check out our latest programs and classes. Please give us a share and a like, and we hope you enjoy the broadcast. There we go. Hello, my beautiful Starseed family. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Jai Gobind, and this is your Channel for Grace. Thank you guys so much for being here live. This is like a random live that I decided to do last minute. And thank you to those of you that are watching the replay of this video. There's a very powerful event that's happening starting today into tomorrow, and it's gonna go on for the whole week and last through the full moon in Virgo until Mars moves into 0 degrees of Gemini. And that is that Mars is going to be conjuncting Algol today, tomorrow, and then we'll be moving through the Pleiades until next week. So I want to talk about what this means for us, since this is a Starseed channel, and I want to show you the charts. I want to do a reading from our Pleiadian star family. So if you have any Pleiadian Starseed markings in your charts, this is a message for you, and for anyone too, for the collective, just in general, because these energies, this is the transiting planet, are affecting all of us very strongly. So I do want to say welcome to everyone that's in the chats, and those that came in. Like I said, this was a video that I decided to do last minute. So I'm excited to be able to share with you guys live and see your comments too. So we've got Hokulani, welcome in. North Node Midheaven, Pleiadian Starseed here. Love that. Christina Maria, welcome in. Thank you for being here. We've got Darcy, how are you? Hannah, welcome. Trudy, how's it going? Good evening. SW, hello. Sandra, hello. So you would know, one way to find out is to study the fixed stars, and then to sort of correlate where they are and to the planets and the degrees in your chart. That's basically what I do when I do my Starseed readings, which are available for purchase. I look at all of the planets and all of the degrees and all of the angles too. the rising and the midheaven, the IC and the descendant, and even the asteroids as well. Hello, Louise, welcome in. And I look at those and I tell you what your starseed markings are. Basically, what's your starseed ancestry? That's what the readings are called. And it's been fascinating to see how many people have these markings that were born like around my age, and then like slightly younger, and then a little bit older. Like, I feel like, have you guys ever heard of Dolores Cannon and the waves of volunteers? It's almost like when the 3 waves of volunteers started to come to Earth, where we chose to come to Earth, that is when the starseed markings really begin. It's really powerful to see. And also, if you feel drawn to get a reading to find out what your starseed markings are and what your starseed ancestry is, then you have to trust that that's intuitively you're being guided to find the answers, to find those things. So yes, there's a couple of ways to find out. You can get books on the fixed stars, which I've done. I've actually done an entire training on the starseed markings, and now I'm able to do the reading. So it's really amazing. It's kind of an honor to be kind of like an ambassador for like starseeds. Julene, welcome in. Darcy says, if you are one, what does it mean? It means you have chosen to be here at this time, and you have a mission, you have a purpose for being here, which is to help in the awakening of humanity, to help in the ascension of humanity. And we're going back to, Christina Maria says, loved my starseed ancestry reading, so helpful. Yeah. So it helps you to connect to your mission in this life. It helps you to understand your soul from a completely different perspective, from an esoteric perspective. When we look at astrology, we can look at the basic personality aspects, and that's like one dimension, right? That's like the third dimension. But the starseed markings are looking at your chart from like higher dimensions, to where you see the makeup and you see where you've had past lives on other planets, on other star systems, and in ancient places like Atlantis and Lemuria, which I think is a lot of where the starseeds come from. It's like we're coming back. We're choosing to come back because it's time here on Earth. So Julian says, I have those in my starseed as per Jai. Yes. So that's one way to find out. But there's something really powerful happening this week, and I want to talk about it. But before I do want to invite you guys, if you're watching this video, if you're new to the channel, to make sure that you give the video a thumbs up, and also hit the subscribe button so you get notified of when I go live and when I upload videos. And welcome to this beautiful Channel for Grace Starseed Soul Tribe. We have a MeWe group if you want to join us on social media. I also have a page on MeWe called at Channel for Grace, where you can find me. I post daily insights on the community board here on YouTube, and I want to invite you as well to join my email list. And when you join it, you actually get a free gift, which is my free moon astrology guide, which tells you your psychic gifts based off of your moon sign. So when you get on my list, every week I send out basically the forecast. It's called the weekly moon magic report. And I tell you where the moon is, what she's doing, how she's going to affect us, and also the astrology of the other planets and the powerful transits. One of the really cool things that I'm working on right now, which I'm like, oh my God, it's like one of the coolest projects I think I've ever done, is creating a calendar of portals where I'll tell you where magical portals open up astrologically. And there's many different types of portals right now. I'm actually in the process of writing the introduction to the book, because it's a calendar and it's a portals calendar, but really it needs, like, there's going to be a section where I really talk about my story and how I got here and what drew me to starseed ancestry within the realm and the study of astrology, and also what kind of portals I specifically have aligned with, and the ones that really have, channeled through and are the ones that really want to come through and be expressed and shown. And you've got moon portals, you've got sun portals, you've got Venus moon portals. So there's a lot of different types. So I'm going to explain all of that in the book. We have new and full moon portals. We have equinoxes and solstice portals. All of these moments in astrology, but it's not just astrology. It's like in the physical relation. It's astronomical too. It's the relationship between the planets, the sun, the moon, the earth, and all of the planets, and how they're aspecting each other, literally, actually, in real time in outer space. So just something really cool that I'm working on, I'm excited about. So you definitely want to be on my email list to make sure you know when that book and that calendar kind of comes out, to tell you guys all about it. Julian says, anyone that hasn't had a starseed reading should get one. It was revolutionary. It was for me too, to look at my own chart and to look at my own starseed markings. So let's get to the topic. I actually want to share the chart for today. So give me 1 second. I can find it real quick. There it is. I want to share my screen with the computer. Hello, Len. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. Okay, it gives me a code 3010. I'm also really excited. I had this beautiful session. I did a reading today with a client that actually has a podcast, and I was actually invited to be on the podcast. So I'm really excited about that. I'll be letting you guys know, about it, when it actually comes out and stuff. But I feel really honored to be a part of that. Is this live right now? Yes, it's live right now. I decided to go live. I was just going to record this video, but I decided to just go live because something said just go live. And I think it's because I'm feeling the message already needs to go out to everyone like right now in real time. So that's why we're here and we're doing it. Okay, so here we go. This is the chart for today, like this afternoon when I took this chart. And here's what I want to show you. I want to show you Mars at 26 degrees of Taurus. So right around this degree is a star called Algol. And Algol, I don't know if you guys saw the image that I posted with the YouTube thumbnail of this video, is basically Medusa, the monster. She's like known as this monster. You're welcome, Sandra. That has the snake for hair, which is really gnarly. And normally when we think of Medusa, we remember like the wicked stories of like Medusa. When you look into Medusa's eyes, she will turn you into stone. And that's the only part we ever hear about the story of Medusa. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about here is the real story of Medusa and what it really means for Mars to be conjuncting this spot right now. So let me come back to the screen real quick so I can tell you about Medusa. So the story of Medusa is that she wasn't always a monster. She was actually one of the priestesses in the temple of Athena. She was really beautiful. She was immortal, and she was basically studying, right, an initiate of the priestess lineage. And she was so beautiful that many were drawn to her beauty. Even Athena herself was jealous of her. And this is the mythological story. One of those beings that was desiring her was Poseidon, who is the god of the sea. And so you've got Athena, who is a god. You've got Poseidon, who is also a god, desiring this mortal. Poseidon makes a lot of attempts to get Medusa's attention, and Medusa, as part of her honoring the priestess lineage and Athena herself, she was to stay basically celibate, a virgin. That was like one of the ways that she was honoring the lineage. So there was no way that she was going to, even though Poseidon was a god, like she was staying true to the path, to the priestess path, and to the sacred feminine path. Eventually what happens though is like Poseidon starts getting really kind of annoyed, I guess, that Medusa is not like returning the attention. And since he's a god, I think he's like, okay, I have way more power. I'm just gonna take her. So Medusa gets kind of chased by Poseidon, and she runs into the temple of Athena, which for like protection and safe haven. And that actually doesn't happen. What happens is that basically Poseidon rapes Medusa. And when he does this inside the temple, and then Athena finds out, Athena, because she can't punish Poseidon, decides to punish Medusa, which is ass backwards. But anyways, also because Medusa was already jealous. I mean, Athena was already jealous of Medusa. This is, all her anger comes out because now the temple has been like desecrated or whatever. So she ends up putting this curse on Medusa, and that's what turns her into a monster. And so she turns her into, this monster that has, snakes coming out of her. She used to have beautiful long hair, and now she ends up having these snakes, like these wicked snakes, and then she curses her so that as she looks at people in the eyes, anyone that sets eyes upon her actually gets turned into stone. And so then everyone she becomes almost like this, her head, her power becomes sort of this like prized possession that everyone wants to they want to defeat the monster so they can get a hold of her head and use it as like this sort of tool to help them fight off evil, which is interesting when you connect, where it comes from. So that's when, all these, men and warriors and knights or whatever, they try to defeat Medusa and chop off her head. And no one's able to actually do it or be successful at it because they all keep getting turned into stone until Perseus comes around. Perseus is actually given like a cloak of infinity, but it's actually a helmet that makes it so that he's invisible to Medusa. And he's also given this shield that deflects the gaze of Medusa. And he's also given a sword that is able to actually like chop off her head. So, hello, Rainbow Warrior Tribe. Welcome in. I love mythology, went to Greece with my yoga family. Oh, I love that. That's very cool. So Perseus is actually, with all of this help from the gods, right? These epic tools from the gods, he's able to actually defeat Medusa and cut off her bed, cut off her head. So when that happens, he becomes like obviously the one that has, you see images of this. The actual constellation in the sky of Perseus is with him and sword in his right hand, I believe, and Medusa's head in his left hand. And so on his way back from decapitating, but by the way, little side note, what ends up happening hello Belinda, welcome in, when he chops off Medusa's head is from her blood, Pegasus is born, who is the winged horse. And some people, I've done readings for people that have these markings of like Pegasus wing tip or Pegasus wing on their chart. And what that does is it really elevates your vibration. It helps you to be able to ride up to the heavens. That's what Pegasus is able to do. He's able to ride up to Olympus. So it's interesting that out of this sort of her final destruction comes this beautiful essence, this beautiful sort of angel horse. I guess that's what's coming through, who's able to guide you up to the heavens, to rise up to the heavens. So on his way back from decapitating Medusa, that's when he sees Andromeda chain to a rock in the sea. And so Andromeda, that's a whole nother story, but the Andromeda story is that she's this like the ultimate damsel in distress, and Perseus uses Medusa's head to petrify the monster that's coming to get her, because she's also been cursed. I mean, these are all crazy mythological stories. So he rescues her by using Medusa's head, and of course, frees her and marries her. Okay, so like there's movies about, Perseus and Medusa, but really, and Andromeda, I mean, but really what we see more of is like, okay, Medusa's the monster that has been defeated and then Andromeda gets freed. But we have to go back to the beginning of the story to really truly understand what it means for anything to align with this star, which is called Algol, which is on Medusa's head in the constellation of Perseus. So this traditionally, a lot of the stars, this is like, I think, common. When you start to study the fixed stars in astrology, what happens is you notice that a lot of the stories and a lot of the stars are like, there's very faded energies to them. So you've got a star that's like, okay, super good luck, star of super good luck. And then you have a star of like, okay, super bad luck, like bad things are going to happen. And traditionally, Algol is seen as a super malefic star, which means that if you have anything on Algol, it's like, oh, it's like something to be scared of or like something to fear. Hey, all, I totally missed the beginning. Happy to be here. Welcome in, Jess. It's good to have you here. So that's traditionally what we get with Medusa. It's like, oh my God, Mars is on Algol. Like, okay, something bad's going to happen, right? Someone's going to get petrified by the eyes of Medusa, But really what this is a story. For me, what I see is a story of transformation and change. And I gotta tell my sister that we're live because I don't think she realizes, or maybe she didn't get the notification. So transformation and change, spiritual awakening, right? The rising back up and the taking back your power. And I think that's really what the story is about. Hannah says Algol is connected to alcohol. It is. Yeah, it's like a very dark energy traditionally. But I have learned, in actually a lot of people talk about this, but one of the places where I was first introduced to Algol as a fixed star not being so malefic in meaning is in my course that I just took, my Starseed course, which is called Beyond the Planets by Erica Othen. She's actually I call her my Starseed teacher because she really opened my eyes to see all of these stars in a very benevolent way. And that's the kind of teacher that she is. It's like you have to activate the benevolent energies, look deeper and find the true meaning behind all of this. And that's why I want to do this video, because Mars is not getting illuminated by the sun or the moon, but he is aligning with the star, which is very, very significant. So Rainbow Warrior says Pantheon battles of the gods in the sky. Yes. Thank you, Christina Maria, for moderating. I really appreciate it. So that's basically our starting point here today is we just went over the story of Medusa so that you can get a better understanding of what the story is, the mythological story, and how we can actually learn from it and understand what's really happening here. So another thing that Mars is doing when he conjuncts Algol, when you look at the constellations, Algol, yes, each star does, Lenlen. Algol is right where the Pleiades start. So the Pleiades are in the Taurus constellation. They're known as the Seven Sisters. That's the stars. But it starts Algol is right where the Pleiades start, spatially, right? So if you're looking at it, you're like, oh yeah, Algol is right there. The same way that you think of a Fucus's foot that's sticking through into the ecliptic, but it's not included in there should be 13 signs, but there's only 12. I've talked about Ophiuchus before. So his foot, right, is sticking into in between, I think it's the Sagittarius constellation, right? So there is a 13th sign, but it's not fully in it, but it's his foot is in there. So it affects us as well. And that's kind of a whole nother topic, but this is the same thing. So when any star, hello, Wendy, welcome in. When any star starts to move into this point, algol, what they're actually, any star, when any planet, what's actually happening is they're entering the Pleiades as well. And the Pleiades is like a whole different kind of energy. The Pleiades there's a lot of channeled information. A lot of people are Pleiadian channels. And what I've learned from reading books like Bringers of the Dawn, The Pleiadian Agenda, books written by Barbara Hanclau, for example, Alchemy of Nine Dimensions, which is a book about the 9 dimensions and basically was channeled. It came from her book, The Pleiadian Agenda, and then it was channeled into like a deeper explanation of what they talk about in the Pleiadian Agenda about these 9 dimensions, that each dimension has like a keeper, right? We're the keepers. Hey, Chandra, welcome in. We're the keepers of the 3rd dimension. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to start singing my song. And we have forgotten how to listen. I'm just kidding. Okay. Wow, like I almost started reciting my own song. So I have a song called "Listen," by the way. It's so funny. Which I'll play. I'll play on Saturday for our full moon ceremony, which is coming up. Can ya feel it? So I don't even know what the hell I was saying just now. But basically, this is something someone like legit has to remind me what the heck I was saying. We're the keepers. Okay, so we have these dimensions. So I believe that the Pleiadians are they're either the keepers of I think they're the keepers of the 5th dimension, because that's the connection to the heart. They may be the 6th, but I really believe in the book it says the 5th. So that's the heart, right? The 5th dimension is like Christ consciousness. It's compassion. Hi, Julia. Love you, babe. So it's compassion. It's like the joy of being alive. The Pleiadians are almost like they rule, like this is something that I've channeled. I feel like the Pleiadians almost rule the 5th house. Whoa, I just realized that there's got to be like certain starseed ancestries that rule certain houses. Whoa, okay. Woo, take a note. We're going to have to write that down. So I feel like they kind of rule the 5th house and the 5th dimension, right? Because the 5th house is our passion. The 5th house is the house of children. The 5th house is the house of joy. So when I think Pleiades, I think the energy of the 5th house, it's romance. It's like passion, creativity, and it's joy. It's like the joy of life. It's like going back to being a kid again and allowing yourself to play and have fun and just be in that, like, there's a sacredness to that, right? And so that's what I think of the Pleiades. So Mars is conjuncting Algol, but he's entering into the Pleiades. So how beautiful. And it always happens this way. Every planet, right? The moon goes through. Same thing. Algol first and then the Pleiades, right? The anybody that has any starseed markings, any markings in this area, you're gonna have Pleiadian energy. You're gonna be a Pleiadian starseed. So let's go back to the chart real quick, because now we can kind of get back to this topic of the astrology of it. The pink glasses need to come out now. Okay, I'll bring out the pink glasses. Oh my God, you guys are funny. I love it. I love it. I love how I just like randomly decided to do this video, and I decided to go live. It was like I couldn't film it. I'm like, I just needed to go live. So here we go. I'm so glad you guys are here. Thank you for joining me in this very kind of powerful portal that we're entering. These are the portals that I'm talking about, that I'm going to write about in my calendar. So Mars is at 26 of Taurus right now. Tomorrow he's going to be at 27, and he's going to continue on moving through the last degrees of Taurus until he moves it to 0 degrees of Gemini next week. Can't remember the exact date, but I know it's next week. We can verify actually, since, we're here. Let's go to one chart, current transits, and go forward. There's Mars at 26. Tomorrow he's at 27, the 28th, let's go 29, and then 0. So on the 4th. So next Thursday, you see how Mars moves into Gemini, 0 degrees of Gemini. 0 degrees of Gemini. This is actually, that's where Alcyone is. Alcyone is like the grand central star of the Pleiades. So if you have anything at 0 degrees Gemini, like very powerful Pleiadian energy. My teacher, Erica Othen, actually has her son at 0 degrees of Gemini, and she had a whole like revelation of the Pleiades came to her, brought her messages in the same way that they always do. It's always this creative, like, ooh, dive into this like amazing, curious energy, because it's also, in the Gemini area, at least in Western astrology. So anyways, we have this portal right now. And then if you look at, let's go Saturday the 27th, there it is. Mars is literally on Algol. Now what I want to do here is, because I'm going to put this on the day of the full moon. So we're getting a little sneak peek at full moon energy here. But I will be doing the chart of, what's it called? The full moon tomorrow. So I will do that broadcast tomorrow evening and talk a little more detail. But here we go. This is good enough right here. Let me go to this screen right here. I know there's a lot of crazy back and forth of the screen, but here we are. So this is actually the chart of the full moon, or as close as I can get to it. And here's what I want to show you. You've got on the day of the full moon in Virgo, right? Full moon opposing, sun and moon opposing. You've got Mars on the Pleiades. On the Pleiades, but on Algol, like specifically, making a trine to Pluto. And I'll be talking more about this, but this is a powerful thing. We've never seen Pluto at actually, we've never seen Pluto at this degree of Capricorn, like ever in our lives, because Pluto moves so slow. So for Pluto to be making a trine to Mars right now, and Mars is on Algol and on the Pleiades, it's like, whoa, there's something deep here. There's something really deep that we need to pay attention to. What's coming up? Mars is the planet of drive. Mars is like what inspires us to act. It's what keeps us moving forward, actually doing things. And right now in Taurus, what he doesn't really like to be in Taurus. That is like hands down, because in Taurus, he's actually in fall position. He would much rather be in Scorpio. He's like in detriment because he co-rules the sign of Scorpio. So in detriment in Taurus, he doesn't like to be here because it's too slow. Yeah, transformation time. Exactly, Chandra. He's too slow. He moves too slow. So it's too slow for him. He needs quick and like or deep and like intense, right? Which is Scorpio energy. So in Taurus, he's like, we're taking our time. Like this Mars transit in Taurus has really slowed things down. And remember, we just got out of a Mars in Aries transit that lasted like 6 months. And it was intense because there was this crazy long retrograde, like 28, 27, 26 degree retrograde. I mean, whoa. Because I think it was at 28 degrees that Mars went retrograde in Aries. And so he had to go all the way back. He went all the way back almost to the beginning and then turned around. So it was like almost the entire 30 degrees of Aries, Mars was retrograde. That's why it was such a long transit. I mean, that's major trauma. She has all this, she has it all, right? Beauty, charm, all this stuff. She's on the priestess lineage. She's like becoming basically like a goddess. And then it all gets taken from her. She literally gets raped. She becomes the victim of like a horrendous act. And then she gets punished for it, gets cursed, becomes this monster. And then she's like, everyone's chasing after her for her head. Like, dude. And finally, but it's really difficult to defeat her, which is interesting enough, because if you think about that, it was a curse, but it also became her power. But what it did, it separated her from basically being able to be social, from being able to connect to other people. Because she would look at someone and turn them into stone, like, then you have to live alone. because you'll hurt everyone you love. You know what I mean? So it's like there's so much to this story that wants to be looked at. And this, when we look at ourselves in our own lives, we have to look at what's going on in our own lives. What traumas are coming up for us? Where do we feel like we were wronged and hurt and victimized and all this stuff? And how can we take our power back? Because what happens is when she's finally killed, right? She's beheaded by Perseus. From her blood is born Pegasus, which is the winged horse. Hey, Valerie. And this horse actually flies up to the heavens. So it's like she is freed. Like Pegasus, whoa, this is coming through right now. Pegasus is like the spirit of Medusa being released from the gnarliness of her human life and her curse. And Pegasus, right? The horse, we were just pulling the horse card yesterday. It came out a couple of times. It's freedom. When you think of wild horses, whoa, that scared me, guys. It's like barking. Oh man, hang on. I just muted my mic for a second because I didn't want you guys to get, she startled me. I was like totally like channeling and she's like, rah. All right. So she might've heard a coyote. Gaia, mama, it's okay. It's okay. Okay. So she's going to keep going for a minute. I apologize. So basically she's basically like released. She's released of her curse. Gaia, mama, that's okay. Gaia, come on. She's released of her curse. She's freed. In the end, she's freed. And the only way that she's freed is by literally she gets her wings. Right? She becomes a horse. From her blood, this beautiful Pegasus is born. She gets these wings, and then she can fly up to heaven. So, and to me, that's the transition into the energy of the Pleiades. Yeah, who let the dogs out? This is the transition into the beautiful energy of the Pleiades, because now you have this beautiful horse who is like magical, almost like unicorn status, right? Magical horse. So anyways, long story. Yeah, Gaia definitely has a message too. Like Pegasus demonstrating she is still pure in spite of all. Yes. Oh my God. Thank you, Len, for saying that. That's exactly it. It's like that because she is a symbol of the dark feminine, right? She's a symbol of the dark feminine. And we fear the dark feminine because it has so much power. But we need to embrace the dark feminine because look at what's found within it. God, right? Heaven. And that's the power of the story of Medusa. Hang on a second. Gaia, mama, that's it. That's enough, mama. So this is how we understand the story and ascend ourselves. So like all of the trauma, all of these things that are coming up for us right now is because this is, you got to act. This is Mars. You have to like do something. Like as this stuff comes up, this is time for you to take action and like step into healing. So what needs to happen? Like all of the trauma, all of the story, you can't fix that. You can't undo the things in your life that have affected you in a negative way. You literally need to go through the death ritual. She literally has to die for us to see the beauty that was always within. She literally has to die to be freed. And that's the dark night of the soul. That's the tower moments that show up in our lives. That's us letting go. Like you can't, oh my God, they're so funny. There's something that my husband always says. He says, you can't shine shit. Shit is shit. No matter what you do, you can't shine it. So can we cut off, right? Literally, can we chop it off? She gets her head chopped off, which is also like the separation of like the head and the heart. But then from that is like this beautiful soul comes through. So that's the power of Medusa. And that's what I wanted to show you guys today and the meaning of this very powerful transit. I'm going to talk about it, including the energy of the full moon tomorrow when we do that broadcast. But for now, it's like we are here, ladies and gentlemen. It is time. Jazz says, a few weeks ago when Julia was doing readings, she pulled a card that had Pegasus on it for me. I gave notice to leave my job this week. Major transformation coming in here. This is so crazy. I know. Oh, I, I love that. I love that, Jess. That makes me feel really good. But that is like, okay, so that's it. That's literally why I wanted to go live and tell you guys how significant this transit actually is. So now we are going to do a reading. So let's get a little freshened up here with Chandra Sangat's awesome spray. Oh God. Oh my God, that's so good. Oh. So you can find these awesome sprays, Goddess Isis sprays and oils that you can use on Chandra Sangat's Etsy shop, which I already forgot the name of. Magic something. If you go to her website, chandrasangat.com or chandrasangat.us, then you can find a link to, I think it's on the main page, a link to the Etsy shop. So yes, thank you spirit guides, angels, teachers for being here with us today. I would like to ask help clearing the energy of the cards that I'm going to be using, as well as clearing my energy so we can get this beautiful message channeled to everyone that's listening here live and everyone that's listening to the replay. Thank you, Archangel Michael. Thank you, all of the spirit guides that are coming through in this portal that's coming up. Thank you to the Pleiades. Please be with us here as we channel this message. And thank you for always guiding our way forward. All right, let's see what the Pleiades and Mars and Medusa want to tell us. All right, first card that comes out, actually two cards just came out. We've got the Six of Swords. I love this card. This is basically the, I don't have the little description thing. It's the Nefertari Tarot. And then we get the wheel. I'll just show them to you quickly. I want to pull some more. Let me actually finish pulling and then I'll show them all. The Page of Swords. Okay. Whoa. These are kind of interesting. The Nine of Pentacles. Let's do one more. Thank you, Christina Maria, for posting that on there. 33 in the chat. I love that. One more card. Thank you. Thank you for this message. What else do we need to know? All right, there it is. Nine of Wands, and at the bottom of the deck, the Strength card. And then I'll pull some Avalon cards as well. So starting with the Six of Swords. These cards are gold foiled, so they're like amazing. The Six of Swords is all about moving forward. So interesting because when I think of the traditional image of the Six of Swords, you see this like figure that's kind of like covered in a blanket, like huddled over, like obviously going through a very kind of difficult time, unable to communicate with anyone, kind of like Medusa. And yet she's got a helper. She's on a boat and the helper is like taking her out of the gnarliness and into the more calm waters. And so this is about learning and being open to asking for help when we need it. And this is also about moving on and letting go of the past, because what's happening here is that the wheel is turning. The wheel is turning. Wow. I love this. So the wheel means that it's like, okay, so we're here and it's almost like, what's the game? Wheel of Fortune, where they like spin and then you like are deciphering the code. Well, to me, this is kind of like the wheel's going to start turning or has started turning And we are leaving, like we're moving from this kind of choppy water world into a more calm, grounded energy. That's what I feel. And you don't really have a choice. You don't really have a choice because you need to go with the flow. The wheels are turning, and that's it. Like there's no turning back. And that's what happens when the wheel card arrives. We also get the page of swords. And the pages are beautiful energies because the pages actually bring us a message. So this is like, because the swords represent the mind, this is about communication. This could be a new idea. This is a message about, like, there's also mental clarity, a download that's coming through related to the element of air. And when we actually get the message that's coming through, we get let's see if you can see it, the Nine of Pentacles, which is a card of abundance. In this card itself, I love how this figure, this like Egyptian figure, has his hands up or her hands up. I can't tell if it's a man or a woman, but probably a man because not wearing a shirt. But basically has their hands up and is reaching to receive the rays of the sun. So like to receive the healing of the sun. And the Nine of Pentacles itself is about like focusing on the details. It's about perseverance and also education. It's like, take it all in. There's something that you're here to learn. There's something that you're here to understand. It's coming. Like we are receiving. This is like, I feel like this card is saying we're in the receptive mode. To be in the receptive mode, you need to open up the mind. You need to be aware that the messages that definitely do want to come through. The last card that we get here is the Nine of Wands, which is kind of an interesting image here. It's like almost like there's a rabbit and a snake, and the rabbit is like kind of battling the snake. Now the Wands cards are all about the fire element, and they are about passion and activation. So there's a lot of action in this card. The Nine of Swords, however, the Nine of Wands. Yes, this is the Nine of Wands, not the Nine of Swords. But the Nine of Wands is actually about courage. Because there's something that you need to do. You need to kind of like battle your fears. You need to face your fears. And like, it's almost like you're Perseus in a way, and you're like battling your own fears. And you're like, your job is to like chop Medusa's head off. But at the same time, it's your own fears that you're releasing yourself from your own curse. So you absolutely need courage. You need persistence. You need to be persistent, which is very much a Taurus energy. And you need to have strength. That's what the Nine of Wands is all about. And then so beautiful that at the bottom of the deck, we get the Strength card, which is very much connected to the lion, the Leo energy. Actually, right now, the moon is in Leo, transiting through the sign of Leo. And it will transit through the heart of the lion, Regulus, which is the royal fixed star, at the heart of the lion, connected to Archangel Raphael. And so this is like our hearts are fully stepping into our power. And this is truly a moment in time where the wheel is turning. We're moving away from something and moving towards something new. We need to clear our minds. We need to trust that the knowledge, the education, the understanding is coming, but we need to have strength and perseverance and courage to get through, and strength, right? To get through this transition that is here. So I'm going to pull some Avalon cards. Dang, that's some deep inner trauma healing connections. Yeah, for sure. The Bard is the card that we get. And the Bard is about music, poetry, myth, history, and the enchantment of storytelling. That's actually really cool. So I see Pleiades energy in this card. He's very playful. He's having fun. He's enjoying life. I feel the Pleiades are coming through right now. This is their message. It's like, I don't know about all those other stuff, all that gnarly stuff, but the truth is that here's the outcome. And like, if you just like let yourself have fun and enjoy life, you're going to be in a completely different place. You're gonna feel completely different as you transition. So focus on what makes you happy. Is it music? Is it poetry? Is it myth? Is it history? Is it storytelling? Is it like understanding life at a deeper level? Is it just connecting to your innocence, right? That's very powerful message. And I want to pull, let's do a couple more from this deck. Oh, the owl. So the owl comes through. The owl is our intuition. There goes Gaia again. The owl is our intuition. The owl is about wisdom. The owl is about seeing through the night, seeing through the dark, allowing ourselves, like not being afraid to face, not being afraid to face our fears. And here's the last card that we're going to pull for this message from our star family. Christina Maria says, personally, that's a right on time message. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. So the last card that we get, oh man, lots of doggy energy, is trust. Let me actually go close the door. Hang on. She's still barking, but she's outside now. But here's the last card that we get, the card of trust. So we need to trust in the process, trust our intuition, let ourselves have fun, be in that sacred space. And that is how we're going to get through this transition. That is the message from the Pleiades and from the energy of Algol and Medusa and the whole story that I told you in the beginning of this video. So that is what I wanted to do tonight, is go live and share with you guys this beautiful energy, share with you guys this message. Please share this video out. Make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure that you subscribe to the channel. I would very much appreciate that. If anyone feels called to this message and you find yourself here for the first time, make sure that you join our community. We have a very beautiful group, a community group on MeWe called Channel for Grace Starseed Soul Tribe. And if you're interested in finding out your own starseed markings in your chart, I do starseed readings, and you can sign up on my website at channelforgrace.guru. There's links to a lot of stuff in the description of this video as well that you can connect to and tap into, that I offer you guys, that I offer the collective. So make sure to check through those links and follow me on all social media. And I love you guys. And thank you everyone for being here. And I will see you all tomorrow for the full moon in Virgo astrology reading. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Sat Nam.